welcome back to my channel. I pray that you are all in the best of health and iman. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing great. Before I start today's video, I would just like to say that if you are not already subscribed to my channel, then make sure you click that subscribe button down below. And if you are already subscribed, make sure to also click the bell notification down below. It's right next to the subscribe button. Make sure you click that. Right, so today's video was a suggestion by one of my lovely subscribers. You know who you are. They suggested that I make a video on how to establish salah. So I was sitting down and thinking about it, and I thought, you know what, it would be really useful if I could provide for you guys tips on how to practically establish salah. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So my ultimate hack with regards to praying or establishing salah, and especially doing it on time, is to plan your activities and your day around your salah. Now I'm sure you probably already heard of this, but how does that work in terms of practical advice on how to do this? Well, every other tip that I'm going to give you in this video, inshallah, is going to be relating to how to practically, you know, employ this technique of planning your activities around your salah. So my first tip with regards to this is to make wudu before you leave the house. Guys, this is going to make life so much more easier for a lot of us if you just have wudu before you leave the house. Now, try to maintain that wudu for as long as you possibly can. However, if you know that you really need to go to the loo, just go, okay? Because I don't want no bladder problems coming back here, right? So make sure to have wudu before you leave the house and try to maintain that wudu for as long as possible, because that would just mean that there's one less thing for you to worry about if you're out and about and you need to pray. My next tip is to carry a prayer mat with you everywhere you go. I have a very light prayer mat that I take with me everywhere. It lives in my handbag. The only time it comes out is to be washed, and then it goes straight back in. I have a thing with like skincare, and I just don't like, when I have to make sajda, I don't like putting my head in something that I think might not be as clean. So I always like to have my prayer mat with me, and I'll suggest that you do so, because then you don't have to worry. If you already have your wudu and you know you've got prayer mat in your bag, you're good to go. You can pretty much pray anywhere. So sisters, make sure, especially sisters, because you know we always have our handbags and all that, make sure you carry a prayer mat in your bag with you when you're going out. Okay, so this next hack was something I learnt when I went shopping with one of my friends like a couple of months ago. So basically we were out shopping and we stayed out really late. We went to this really big shopping centre in London. So my friend and I were shopping, and it got to around Maghrib time, and I was just thinking, oh my gosh, where are we going to pray? Because we're in this big shopping centre and it's going to take us like at least 45 minutes to get home, and we did not plan well at that time. So we were talking about it as we were going up the escalators, and one of the sisters was standing behind us, just turned around and said to us, just go and pray in the changing room. And it was like, oh yeah, I never actually thought about that before. You know, I'm sure loads of you probably already know about this, but unfortunately I didn't. So that was my first time of hearing about it. So there you go. If you're out and about, you're shopping, it's one of them days when you spend hours shopping, you don't have to worry about rushing to come back home. You can just go in the changing room, grab a few clothes, you know, make it look like you're actually going to buy something. Maybe just buy something, okay? Because I don't want to get into trouble for saying this. Buy something from the shops, yeah? But also go into the prayer room, lay down your prayer mat, you know, the one in your handbag that I said to carry around. Yeah, lay that down and pray. There you go. Thank me later. Side note actually on this point, please don't pray in there if you know that there's music blasting, because Quran and music, they don't gel. And you know, if you're shy about standing up to pray, you think people are going to see you like putting your head down and getting up, because some changing rooms you can literally see some people's feet, then sit down and pray. You know where you usually put your bag, just sit there and pray. So my next hack is for those of us grown people who work. I would just like to say that it's really important that when you interview or when you're being, I can't speak, when you are being interviewed for a job, to ask for a praying space. This is something I have always done for as long as I can remember. I think it's really important at that beginning point for them to know who you are, that you are Muslim and that you are a practicing Muslim, and you're going to need space to pray. It makes life a lot easier, because work is somewhere where you're going to spend a lot of time, and if you can't pray there, you're going to be missing salah like pretty much every day or 5 days a week, however long it is you spend at your workplace. That's a lot of salah for you to miss, and missing salah it's a non-negotiable. It's just not a thing. So we just have to pray. It's about how we do it, but we have to pray. So make sure that during your interview you sort of, I tend to hold up until like the end of the interview. When I start to see that the interview is starting to wrap up, then I say, well, you know, as a Muslim, I have to pray 5 times a day. You know, is there any space here for me that I can pray? It won't take a long time. It's literally just 5 minutes. I just need a quiet space where I can just pray and then just go about my business. You know, maybe just say, you know, at lunch times, is there somewhere for me at lunch times, or maybe at the end of the work day where I could just quietly pray? And a lot of the times, inshallah, if you're in a country that allows that, you find that they are really negotiable and they will try to find space for you, or if they don't already have some. So yeah, make it a point of note to always remember if you're being interviewed for a job, or you know, to ask if they've got praying space. Now, if you're a student in a school and you don't have somewhere designated area for you to pray, I would suggest that what you do is you get to know your environment really well. Like, you get to find them quiet corners that no one's usually there, no one usually hangs around there, that you can pray your salah when it's salah time. Well, I've graduated now, so I really don't care. But basically, when I was at uni, me and my friends, we used to sneak into the quiet lecture halls, the empty ones, where the lights are usually turned off. We would just sneak in there and pray, and literally just like, quick, 5 minutes, quick, you stand in that corner, I'll stand in that corner, let's just pray. Yeah, I hope I don't get into trouble for this, because I am not taking this video down. The next advice is for a parent who has a young child that you're trying to get to, you know, get into the routine of praying. You know, your kids that are sort of about 11, 12, they're starting to enter that stage in which salah is going to become compulsory for them, and you want to make it a habit for them. What you can do is speak to the class teacher. You can ask the class teacher and just say, you know, is the classroom usually empty at lunch times? Can my child come in here and pray quietly at lunchtime or at the end of the day, just so that they don't miss their salah? And for the most part, you know, as someone who works in schools, for the most part, the teacher will be fine with it. Right, so my next tip is for those of us who are like in very corporate working jobs, where we have a lot of meetings and a lot of bookings and things like that. What I would suggest is you get yourself a diary and literally write that down, the prayer times for the next 1 month. I know it's gonna take you probably like half an hour to sit down and write it all down, or you can have, you know, choose to download a planner app and just note down the prayer times and keep them in their right slots, because I know that some diaries have the time slots, so you have the date and then you have 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever, and it goes on like that. So you can note down, okay, at 1 o'clock is salah time, or 1:15 is salah time. That way, if a business meeting was to come up and someone was to say to you, you know, can we meet up Thursday at 1 o'clock, you know, is that okay with you? You can literally say, well, let me just check my diary. And if you check your diary, you see that 1 p.m. is salah time, you can just say, well, actually, I'm not available at that time, can we move the meeting 10 or 15 minutes later? Okay, so my next hack or tip is for the sociable of us, you know, those of us who like to go out, spend a lot of time outside the house, because you're not like me, because I'm a home kind of girl. You know, I love my house and I love staying at home. But if you're the kind of person who loves to socialize, go out, do this, do that, how are you going to make sure that you pray in your salah on time? Well, sacrifices have to be made, unfortunately. Actually, no, fortunately. What you have to do is ask yourself the question, is there going to be space for me to pray where I'm going? And if the answer is no, and you know, it's not like a life and death situation, you don't have to really be there, you just want to be there to have fun, then what I would suggest that you do is leave that place and be home, or be somewhere where you can pray on time. It's a sacrifice that we've all got to make. Okay, so the saying goes that a family that prays together stays together, inshallah. So if you live in a Muslim orientated family household and there's more than one person in there and you're all trying to establish praying salah on time, what you can do is buy a salah clock. Now, a salah clock is literally like your regular wall clock, but the cool thing about it is that, you know, you can put in the time or set up the times of salah, and when it's time for salah, the adhan will like automatically go off. Like, don't you think that's just so cool? The adhan will go off, so the clock will call out the adhan, and I think that is just so cool. I've seen it in families where they have that, and then as soon as the adhan goes off, like, everyone just shuts up, everyone just quiet, everyone just listens to the adhan. It finishes, and then people need to know that, okay, who's going to be in the bathroom first to make wudu. It's just, I think it's a brilliant idea. So if you're, you know, trying to encourage your children to pray, your partner to pray, or just for yourself when you're at home, because I could use something like that at the moment, because for your phone it's easy. When your phone app goes on and the adhan goes on, when it's finished you turn it off and it's just kind of like you know. But when it's a clock, I guess it's louder and can be something to motivate you and other people in your household. So yeah, try that, it might help. Okay, finally I would like to say that if none of that has helped you, if you have tried all of that to establish your salah and pray your salah on time and none of it works, I will say, you know what, you just have to be really hard on yourself. You get yourself some serious lectures on the punishment of not praying salah on time. You know, a lot of the time we're really kind to ourselves and we're really loving to ourselves, and we wanna do things because we know that Allah deserves it and all of that, and so it's the love of Allah that drives us to do stuff. But sometimes it's also the fear of Allah that's going to drive us to do stuff. But inshallah, I pray that a lot of us are not in that position, and that we're going to be implementing a lot of these tips, and it will help us to pray our salah on time. So guys, I hope that you have enjoyed that video, and I literally scratched my brain for every single tip that I could think of to come up with all these tips for you guys. So I pray that it really does help you. I do have a video coming up inshallah with regards to praying Fajr on time, because peoples, we all know that the struggle to pray Fajr on time is so real. Like, for example, here now in London, Fajr is currently 3 something AM. It's not easy. So I'm gonna make a whole nother video for just praying Fajr on time. So if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Jazakallah khair for watching. I really do appreciate your time, and I will see you in my next video. Salam.